Now, welcome back to Karmic Keys to Financial Mastery. Today, we will address the hidden energy that sabotages the budgets, which is the emotional spending, the panic hoarding, and the financial insecurity. I want you to reflect on this crucial struggle. Do you experience periods of intense financial panic even when your bank account is healthy? Do you spend money primarily to fill an emotional void or buy things you instantly regret, only to feel guilty afterward? Now, if your emotional state dictates your financial decisions, then your soul's assignment involves the moon, which is the planet of the mind, emotions, and security, and the fourth house, which is the house of emotional foundation and inner home. This lesson is about transforming past life emotional trauma into unshakable inner financial peace. Now, to find out where your moon is sitting, how your fourth house is doing, check out the foundational video playlist in the video description below. You definitely want to check that out. Now, let's talk about the karmic root for this. The struggle with emotional money turmoil is rooted in deep, unresolved karmic residue that's related to security and childhood. Let's talk about your past life scenario. Were you the abandoned child or were you the hoarding caretaker? Which one were you? The moon block stems from a past life where your core need for security was violently disrupted. You may have been the abandoned child, which is the moon trauma, where sudden catastrophic loss, such as a forced exile or war or being orphaned, left an emotional wound that screams, "Nothing is safe. Resources can vanish instantly." Alternatively, you may have been the hoarding caretaker, which is the fourth house misuse, who had the resources but withheld emotional or physical necessities from those that were dependent on you, mistaking material control for love. Now, let's talk about what that may have been like. If you were the abandoned child, then you lived a life of constant fear. And now that fear returns as generalized financial anxiety today, forcing you to constantly seek material proof, which is hoarding, or emotional comfort, which is spending, to fill that ancient void. The soul's assignment, however, is to become your own perfect parent, finding security not in cash, but in consciousness. And again, I said, make sure you check out the foundational video playlist to check out your fourth house, how your moon is placed, the afflictions, the dignity of the moon. It's going to be very helpful in this video. So let's talk about the astrological code here, which is the moon and the fourth house. So look for these specific indicators in your birth chart to confirm this lesson. First is the afflicted moon. First, the moon afflicted by Saturn. Saturn is coldness, loneliness, and even Ketu, which is sudden loss, detachment. It creates chronic, subconscious, emotional insecurity that translates directly into financial panic or depression around money. The Amavasya, or the new moon birth, can also heighten this instability. Second is the tested fourth house. If the ruler of the fourth house, which is your emotional foundation, is placed in or with the lords of the 6th, 8th, and 12th, or even just placed in the 6th, 8th, or 12th house, the feeling of internal safety is constantly undermined, leading the person to try and buy a sense of home or security or comfort through material means, such as emotional spending. Let's talk about moon in water signs. That's another way your moon's afflicted. When the moon is in Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces and afflicted, the emotional connection to money is extremely deep and volatile, leading to irrational financial behaviors that are driven by mood swings. So what's your soul's assignment in this lifetime? It's emotional sovereignty and inner nurturing. The soul's goal here is to shift your financial identity from the seeker of comfort to the source of peace. You must replace emotional spending with inner nurturing. Let's talk about emotional sovereignty. That's your core assignment, is to achieve emotional self-regulation. When the urge to spend or panic strikes, you must pause and ask, what emotion am I actually trying to buy or avoid right now? What does that do? This separates your feelings from your wallet. The next part is the self-nurturing. Like I said, you're here to learn one of the two lessons. Self-nurturing, now the virtue to cultivate is self-compassion. Giving yourself the comfort, the validation, and the security internally that you currently demand of money or of others. Let's talk about a universal remedy here, the actionable spiritual practice. To transform emotional spending and fear into lasting financial peace, let's implement these following assignments in detail. First is a 24-hour emotional pause. This directly heals the moon's impulsivity. When you feel a sudden, intense emotional urge to buy something non-essential, you must impose a mandatory 24-hour waiting period. Write down the item and the feeling that you hope to gain from it. If the item still holds the same emotional appeal after 24 hours, you may buy it. But 90% of the time, the emotional urge will dissipate, proving that you were attempting to buy a feeling, not an item. What does that do? This creates emotional sovereignty. Now let's talk about the security statement. This heals the past life trauma of abandonment. Every night before bed, place your hand over your heart, the center of the fourth house, that's your heart, and repeat this statement. I'm safe. I am safe. I am enough. My security is not external. It is eternal and lives within me. This reprograms the deep subconscious fear that was installed during a past traumatic life experience, or even in this life, in your childhood. This will rebuild your inner emotional foundation. See, your financial panic is simply the echo of an old, deep emotional wound. The past life karmic lesson was the failure to establish an inner, unshakable home, causing you to chase external security. The soul's assignment now is to become the source of your own comfort, proving that your safety is not dependent on the market forces or bank balances. Fulfilling the soul contract to heal your inner child will grant you genuine emotional and financial freedom on your soul journey, which is the deepest abundance of all. Now let's commit to inner peace and financial clarity now. First, tell me in the comments, tell me which house is your moon in. This reveals the area of life where your security needs are most urgently being tested. Second, begin your 24-hour emotional pause starting today. Stop that impulse purchase. And of course, if you'd like me to take a deep dive into your own personal chart, go ahead and connect with me via the link in the video description or in the About section of this channel. Now join us next time for video number 4, which is the Jupiter-Saturn conflict of building wealth ethically, where we tackle the most powerful structural planets governing long-term abundance. So hit the notification bell right now so you don't miss that important video. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more Vedic wisdom. Thank you for watching, and thank yourself for watching. That's all for today.